I'm working on at Human University in the UK. So quite a few names in here. I want to acknowledge that is this group work that we build this group with a number of the group research publications and so on. I cannot list all the paper because it's quite a long list. To be honest, I need to fast forward to present now. So, but one of the things I want to highlight in this project, during that time, we have the project funded by Newton Fund that we investigate 5G technology for safety and disaster recovery. I think Cameron thesis work is also mainly on this. I think it's very good work, and especially what happened during the earthquake in Turkey and Syria recently. Make us even, I think we need to do more on this. We've done some very good work with this, some very good concept. We propose some initial implementation of that, but then the project finished, and then we got the other project coming in, and which is too busy. We do not have resources to carry on and do implementation and go on. But they see that the potential is huge. We should invest more in this, because you know that, as I said, communication saves lives. If the victim collapses in the collapse building like that, when the earthquake happened, no more base station, right? It's all broken, all strike. And if you got a victim with a mobile phone stuck in underneath of the building, collapsed building, but the mobile phone still working, but there's no signal. In that case, we call device-to-device communication can work. If we can communicate with them, we can save them. That's the idea. But also, we can even mention the idea at the time that what happened if after 12 hours, the battery die out. Can we just wirelessly charge the battery for the victim? They live down there, and they stay down there. Maybe we can just keep communicating with them. So many ideas, many concepts we propose, but I think that the reality still needs some work on that. And that may be another direction Cameron can take forward with that. Okay, so then we got 6G. Technology don't stop, as I said, every 10 years we will have some of the thing and keep going on. So now we are talking about already 6G. Now the chances in time between the 5G and 6G technology. But tetrahertz, one-to communication, satellite, integrated satellite, reconfigurable intelligence surface, risk, and so on, and digital twin. That's another candidate. I started moving to digital twin now. But you can see that. Okay, so we already have some publication coming out that, okay, this thing, maybe I could just stop for now, but I want you to pay attention to this thing for 5G and beyond. So that idea, we think that when we have so much data, when we got everything connected to the internet, with the support of 5G and 6G, the availability of data makes us think. With the advance of AI and machine learning, suddenly we have to do something about that. We need to bring the intelligence to the society a lot more. So that is suddenly we think about the idea of the digital twin. We didn't create that, but we talked about that, how we can apply into management field, including 5G, 6G, and so on. So if you see that technology by Gartner, it started in 2019. They already mentioned the digital twin, and now they did a lot more about the digital technology and digital world, metaverse, the AI, sustainable technology, and so on. So in myself, I see things as a three areas, three pillars. One is that nowadays we see that the boundary between the virtual world and the real world is getting blurry. Right? So with the technology, VR, AI, digital, metaverse, and so on, very, very blurry, the boundary between the virtual and real world, which means that it opens a lot of the things with the business, we call it digital business. You can see that the game industry, currency, digital goods, digital us, and so on. But when you got a business in that, which means that it got some risks associated with that, that's another direction. One example we see, this is the NFT thing that you may have heard about that, right? So the digital art, digital goods, huge potential. One example like this artwork, NFT, sell for $69 million at Christie Austin House in March 2021. You can see that the picture of 5,000 workdays is put into this, sell it to NFT, and then it's get that amount of money. And Jack, his very first, he's the former CEO of Twitter, right? His very first tweet he sold it as the NFT for nearly 3 million. So you can see the potential, the market there for all this thing. But NFT is very good technology. You see that because in digital world, it's very easy to copy but difficult to own. But with NFT, things change. Right, so I put out quite a few quotes from important people. They mentioned about metaverse, the digital twin, saying that the real things. That the real things. But if you look at this, what that, if you can ask 3 people what this will be, you may get 5 answers. So it's still very early stage, I have to say. A lot of people will have different definitions of digital twin and so on. And we didn't want to be left behind. Actually, we wanted to have one step ahead, actually. So all the hard work preparation in 2019, as officially in March 2020, we started this center. Actually. So, okay, so with this center, I think it's one of the very first one, if not the first one in the UK of this kind. We have intense research on digital twin. I know there are, I will come back to that one, but you can see that we got at the core of our research in digital technology, but the application domain, you can see a number of them. I cannot play that video, but you've got over our website, and you can see by yourself. We got a nice introduction about why we have this and what about this center and so on. So I need to move on with. Okay, I just skipped that. So the key concept, you may ask, okay, what's about digital twin? What is that exactly? Let me explain a very simple way like this. Okay. We got simulation in the past, right? Nowadays people do simulation. When you feel that it's very difficult to do things in mathematical way, we do simulation, we do numerical way. Or we want to validate the theory, the mathematical derivation, we use simulation as well, right? But this one is not just a simple simulation. This one is that we have the concept, we build a digital twin as another system. Exist alongside with the physical system. Okay, so they exist side by side, ideally on real-time basis, evolving together, right? So through the generation to achieve the optimal state of operation. Let's say that the state like us, as a person, we want to develop a digital twin of ourselves. So sometimes ourselves we make emotional decisions, which is not a good one. But that digital twin can, based on the data, based on everything, can give you the best decision, the optimal decision. And that's what we wanted to do. So in the same thing in the factory, we want to have the best operation state of the factory. Then we have the concept of digital twin. With collecting your data, seeing the condition of the factory, and arrive at the final best decision. But after making the best decision, you don't stop there. The digital concept is different. That it lasts for the whole life cycle of the physical object. In simulation, when you run simulation, you got the result, you finish. But this one, you keep monitoring, keep collecting the data, keep adapting to the new thing in the environment. And if you need to have model updating, you do that. So, and which means that, okay, you bring the intelligence to do all these things you need to do here. Monitoring, analysis, evaluation, prediction. And another keyword is of the complex system, not a simple system. So that all the idea, the concept we wanted with the digital twin. Whether we can achieve that, that's another story. But always we got the concept and the idea. We got a very full definition of that in this publication we released. I have to skip that. You can see that recently the trend of between has been dated back for some time. The concept from I keep mentioning Apollo 13 is the very first step that when you try to replicate some twin of things happening on the real time, try to get the spaceship back on Earth safely, right? But from there, and then people started mentioning about the virtual space, and only in 2010, NASA's John Wixker mentioned the term digital twin. And since then, you can see that from 2016, 2017, you can see the interest increasing exponentially about digital twin. Okay, so market, the same thing. And the working group national program that they mentioned about the roundtable things, I can confirm that this photo is not created by AI. And you can see me in the corner there, contributing a few ideas to the roundtable. Yes, so the government want to have a working group, and they got what we call national digital programs. More of the networking program, getting all stakeholders together from different areas to provide some of the guidance framework for the program. And in the USA, North America, we got the twin consortium leading by the main powerhouse in the industry, ANSYS, Dell, Microsoft, and so on. They also got that the DTC. This twin landscape is expanding rapidly. The same thing with the use cases. You can see that a lot of people talking about, I think a number of people here working in a different sector, oil, gas industry. You can see that they can make a distinct of the oil rig, or the distinct of the car. This is the twin of the engine, plane engine, or the asset management you can see here. And all different areas, telecom, environment, distinct of the whole earth to tackle the climate change and so on. And healthcare, maybe I give some very quick headline over there. You can see aerospace. One of the few names, Rolls-Royce, turned this twin to improve jet engine efficiency. On the GE, General Electric Aviation, also create aeroplane engine, right? They also use this twin. And this you can see Alan Turing Institute, this doing this or this. Or maybe Electrolux do this thing for the smart factory layout. NASA always, as I said, very advanced on the digital intelligence, whether they call that digital or not. Because with NASA, they run thousands of different what-if scenario prediction in advance for this. So that's another example that they reliance on the technology. All this thing for smart city. You can see that example in Singapore. They developed what kind of very first country to have the nation digital twin. So they use that in the Dassault system 3D experience platforms to build that nation digital twin. And nowadays you can see that 94% of their government services are digital from end to end. That's right. And Formula One, as I said, that the Formula One teams always got the digital twin of their car. And that takes into account the real-time condition. Always that, it races around the world, but the technology center, mainly in the UK here, that they then collect the data, fit into their digital twin, and provide the best strategic decision during the race, and that in real time. Okay. And 5G, 6G, of course, maybe I skip a bit because we talked about that already. There is always potential for 6G. Why? Because with these things can match very well the 6G vision. Like the collected intelligence, you bring the intelligence to wider society. Everything is now, you can bring intelligence to that, everything is connected to the internet. And also that when you deploy complex network with networks, it fits very well with the concept of system in digital twin, and so on. So many other things that we fit well. That's why we thought about that digital twin for 5G and 6G network, and we end up with that publication as shown earlier. Or maybe I skip quite out a few cases: retail, automated supply chain, climate. As I said, that I think that European Council have a very big project on the destination Earth when they try to build this thing of the Earth to tackle climate change. Now I have to mention metaverse a little bit because some people may ask that, okay, the metaverse can be considered as the whole digital twin of the real world. That's maybe true, or somebody say that maybe metaverse includes a lot of the components in there, which are the digital twin components, which can be true as well. But there is some similarity, maybe I don't have time to play this video, but you can watch that. You may understand a little bit about the metaverse, right? That is, I think that may be the best way.
In July 2021,
start from this, if you watch this Brown video series, the sci-fi comedy. So there is some idea in there. You can see that a similar concept of the metaverse. There is interaction between the virtual and real world. So in that movie is about the digital afterlife. When you die, you can still go to the, you still can go to the next world, the virtual world. You live there forever. So yeah, that's the idea of the movie, but a lot of things that there are interactions within the real world. People from the real world can pay to get to see you in the afterward. And so a lot of that, you can see that even there's an official advertisement that meet us in the metaverse for this one. If you haven't watched it, you watch and then see maybe something about the run out of battery. Okay, I need to finish quickly. So some example of the metaverse that you can see that application. For example, you know the rapper Travis Scott. He did a concert using the Fortnite platform. So can you get my charger in my laptop just in case right now? I don't want it to stop suddenly. I think I got the charger in there. Okay, so some examples that he did the virtual concert that attract like 12.3 million players, audience in there. But in the real concert, couldn't do that. Then in the virtual platform like that. Sorry, everyone. I should have done this earlier. And then, so some of the use cases you can see that I cannot go through all the use cases, but now with the metaverse, they use the Goosey Garden, when you can go there and try the different kind of virtual shoes in there, or the light land, the same thing. Justin Bieber got a show in platform way. Because again, that is, you can see that attract a lot more audience than the normal show. And I think in Korea, they even created a K-pop band called May with the 4 absolutely AI singers. Right? They are AI singers created with that. And so that can see start with people building things in virtual world. You can see that nowhere. You keep doing that, I'll keep presenting. Talking all about things, but not mentioning about our work here. I think I need to, I know that I'm aware of time. I need to show a little bit about our work. That's a strange job. You need to find a well.
The central points box there on the side, is there something there? No?
What is this for? Keep talking. When we stop, we stop. And so this is some specific project as an example of the digital twin that we are doing or has been doing at our center. I have want to emphasize that there are quite a few other projects led by other colleagues, but I just mentioned here that the project has been directly related in the center. So the Digital Twin for Smart Factory, this is funded by the UK IRIS, so that is the initiative between UK and Indian government. So the good thing is that we already got the state-of-the-art facility in here. That is a smart factory, faster than Siemens. So we can play along a lot with that. We can create a digital twin of that. So that was exactly what we did. That creates a digital version of our digital twin for smart factory. So you can see if I play this one, you can see on top is that the real system. It's replicating a mobile phone assembly system with the 2 islands. One island is for the back cover of the mobile phone, another island for the front cover, and so on. So we developed a digital version that tracking absolutely in real time, everything. So that is the very first step into the digital twin of us. So you can see that on the here, this is the digital version, and that is the real version I mentioned about the 2 islands. And the robot Tino carrying its mobile phone between the 2 islands for assembly. Right? So, but at our center, not just about implementation and proof of concept, we also develop some fundamental research, which I may have to skip here given time, but there's some risk to talk about this. But you can see that the idea is that, okay, if we got a lot of IoT sensor, we can always develop a mathematical platform using the advance of AIs, as I said here, with, in this case, the autoencoder, to recognize some of the things we understand. If the sensors is something normal, in the normal power level, then that's the state of the machine is fine. But if the drop power something like this, I indicate that, okay, something's not going well. If it drop to another level, then that even worse, that's the red level. So that is the message. Besides that, I want to send the primary information about the temperature, pressure, and so on. I want to indicate another message about the state of the machine. So that is the idea we have in there. Whether we can implement that to the real system, that's another story. We may need to work a lot with the Festo engineer if we want to do that. Okay. And another example is that about the structural hammer theory. That's what we did. If you look at this picture, for example, I mean, this one very short, I can open that. So this is an example on the left-hand side, the bridge collapse. That's what we don't want to have, right? And on the right-hand side is this Hammersmith Bridge. The Hammersmith Bridge, just a few minutes from my home, that's why I can take this photo. It has been closed for repair for I don't know how many years, 4 or 5 years. And one of the reasons because the structural monitoring has not been, the system has not been in place. That's why you know that is a consequence is huge to the economy, disruption to the traffic, to the normal life. And so this project is about it. And maybe I play this one a little bit. So basically what we did is that for all the work in Vietnam, we go around the country collecting data, we view the dispute of the bridges. And we see if we can detect the damage early, or if we can do a preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance. Okay? So all the work is done into good levels, such as appear in the national television program. This is the nation, that's the name. That's in Vietnamese, so maybe I stop now. But if you here can hear. The highlight for that is that just this morning I received an article, a news email from the embassy of the UK in Vietnam. They sent a book on the occasion of celebrating 50 years of relation between UK and Vietnam. They highlight on one of the research and innovation partnership between the UK and Vietnam, and we kept in there in this process. So you can see that the highlight of this mentioned about that our work helped prepare the Thang Long Bridge, and it saved a lot of time and cost in repair. So that's one of the things we proud of our work in that. Many lessons we learned as well. Maybe when we have time, we can share with you in more detail from the process, such as like we didn't expect we have to go so many field trips to collect data like that. And when myself get into one of the bridges, very new one, Nhật Bridge, we get in there, we thought that all the sensors working, but we realized half of them is dead. Okay, so you see that a lot of things we need to do to get better. That's another reason we got another project after this funded by Beam Group. They think that, okay, maybe we can do a lot more about this. They fund us for another next step as a project. Beam Group is a big group in Vietnam, investing a lot on this research funding and the other things. Okay, so sorry. Another project I want to mention, the healthcare resilience is in this team. I think just last year I went there. So this is a project again funded by the British Council, working with the EGM. And our partner will come in to visit us next week as well. So I visit them, they got a number of connected hospitals, big hospitals as well. So very potential to collect a lot of data there, but this data is unstructured. We need to work on that to see whether we can use a lot of them. And we work with the TCS from India as well. TCS already got some kind of modeling in this thing. Because coming out from the pandemic, we want to learn a lot of things. We see that whether the modeling is accurate. If it's accurate in India, whether it's accurate in Indonesia as well. So that is the idea of the project, whether we can bring data and learn about things, whether something similar event happen, can we do things differently. And then just last month we visited Vietnam about another idea where we can apply this big concept, but in urban agriculture. So also coming out from the pandemic, we see that whether doesn't matter regardless of the level of income from the country, we suffer from the shortage of the food supply in certain way, right? Including the UK. So urban agriculture is very important. It shows that a lot of the nation, the development goals can be certified with this. So the idea that we can have vertical farming, even in a very tight space, but you need the support of the technology. You have to increase automation. You have to use IoT at the same time. It needs to be green as well, because otherwise you consume a lot of energy that is not good either. So that's what we try to do in this project. And another good thing about this project that we include the social aspect into this project, which is led by Mary from the business of from the School of Laws. And she's taking on this aspect of awareness, the willingness, where the people, the farmers, stakeholders are willing to take on technology. Or they just happy with life, I'm happy with what I have, I don't need it. Or you need to introduce something that I don't even need. There's a lot of things to be done. We visit some very nice urban farming center around Ho Chi Minh City over there. And ongoing project, a lot of things to be done. And finally, maybe this is a very much the final thing about talk about this between. Another area, as I said, 5G, 6G network, of the idea that open RAN. Okay, so let me briefly explain that the UK government, Indian government, another initiative between the two governments, they want to diversify the telecom market. They don't want just Nokia, Ericsson dominating the market. They want smaller companies to get in the market, right? So in that way, because Ericsson or Nokia can provide the huge base station packet that no one can touch thing inside. How about I chop that base station, the big packet, into smaller components, can be softwareized, can be the software. So in that way, I can invite many others to come in. You can provide this component, I provide this component. But they need to talk to each other. That means you need a standard, and that we call open standards. Open RAN is the idea of that. But it's not easy in that way. You need to have a lot of things to be designed, and we believe this twin is the right candidate for all that thing. That's why we have ended up with this, and we visited India, our partners, just last month. We showing out a little bit of the photo when we visit PCS in Pune, SGL in Noida, and Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. A very productive trip for us. Very happy with that. And the upcoming event next week, we have the workshop covering all this topic with our partners coming from different countries, right? USA, India, Indonesia, and so on. So with that, all the technology done, I don't think I have time to spend more on that, but I still want to end with saying thank you to our sponsor partners. Hope I don't miss anyone in here. There's been either some sponsoring our research, our team, or has been supporting as partner and so on. And of course, I cannot finish without saying thank you to our team at Science Technology at Middlesex. This is the first, I think that is a away day. We took a photo together, I think some time ago. This is the very first time and until now, very recent event, we took the photo together. I just don't know why we look like in the winter time. Normally we got the out in the summer, right? Anyone remember that photo? And just want a little bit, Bobby already mentioned about a little bit of that. I want to mention about that. We have good work-life balance at Middlesex University. You can see that not just about research and technology, we enjoy the other thing as well. We got fantastic sport facility right here. You can see that we got the Sun Technology football team. I scored one of the goals. We play golf every year for staff as well. And of course, Bobby mentioned about that cricket. I'm the first Vietnamese cricketer in the world, if I can proudly say that. And this is the number of runs, 214. I think I contributed some to that in my first game. We drink beer as well because we have two fantastic pubs next to our campus. You can stay late for writing proposal. Don't worry that you have something to drink and eat over there. Okay, so, and finally, I want to mention her. She has been with me from day one. Right? So after a few long distance between Australia and Vietnam, arguing over the phone, costed me, like I remember one time one single phone call costed more than 120 Australian dollars. We felt so costly to do this. You need to join me in Australia. So she joined me in Australia. And since then, we've always been together. She traveled with me to the UK. And she helping me to build this big family. She has been very supportive, yes, and understanding the nature of my academic job. That's a very good thing. And also helping me, teaching me how to keep our house in order in many ways, which I haven't graduated from that. And especially when we have like the 3 other members, the job is even harder. We got Anne, Kim, and Sam. So thank you for coming. With that, I want to conclude here. I hope I don't forget anyone here. Thank you, college, family, friends, all of you coming here. Make me so feel humble and also at the same time proud of having all of you. And so with that, I conclude my lecture. Thank you, everyone. Over time, but hopefully that we have some nice food waiting for us. Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Need to get up out of the chair. So I won't keep you very long from the refreshments because I'm sure you're all dying to get outside. They look great. So just a thank you and a congratulations again on behalf of the university, on behalf of the faculty, and a warm thank you to everyone who's come here today in person and all of the, I think we've got about 30 online joining us from around the world. So congratulations again, and this is for you. On so refreshments, this way.
Right, thank you everyone.
Hey, how are you? Yeah, good. We meet face to face after online Bibles. How are you?
How about pizza? So have you know?
Yeah. We went
Yes, in fact we're overdue on a visit. Have you found you?
Came a few times. So Juan knows him from here.
I'm on CCTV. I'm
Mà em đã kiếm đến một dịch vụ là có sách được program very good. Em đã muốn hoàn thành xong sứ mệnh xong rồi sẽ là chuyển giao lại cho người khác, xong rồi em sẽ up to you. Dạ. Em sẽ tập trung nghiên cứu. Em còn thích nghiên cứu nữa. Em
chưa biết ai rất là quen thì làm sao đi cái tỏi làm sao ra đâu đi ra ngoài thì đứng lúc rồi đến trong
cứ vào thẳng building, cái main building. Main building, thế xong rồi anh vào reception đi. Anh cứ vào main building, anh cứ vào main building thì anh nhìn, anh vào main building thì anh nhìn
Gigi.